you look at the casino, Lumiere Place Casino and Hotel, all right. Now you said like that's not on a boat. So they had changed that law. That law has never been changed. There is a trough of water that you can't see that basically encircles it and goes, in and out from the river, and that's what makes that a boat. I got slapped in the face with how much things hadn't changed and how many names I recognized. And that's so-and-so's son, and that's so-and-so's daughter, and they're an alderman, and they're going to be mayor, and blah this and blah that. And that keeps St. Louis behind. I mean, I think people have good thoughts and good intentions, but they're more concerned with, making $80,000 a year and having a car, and that's the tradition they're hanging on to. And you just got to bust that up at some point. It will be, but we're just behind most places.
Well, I mean, I grew up in North County. My husband grew up not far from you, and we both live in this. We chose to live in the city, so we're kind of the opposite of what you're saying. And we have daughters 2, 4, and 6. And it is a nightmare. The whole magnet school system is very difficult to navigate, but I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. I would never live anywhere but the neighborhood that I live in.
Okay.
Because I live right down the street, I think that you representing a certain point of view that's really prevalent, no doubt prevalent. But I could name 10 other people who would say, why would you go live out there when you could live a block from the Botanical Garden, or you could live, and I'll take my chances with a really great magnet school.
Dr. Robert Criss from Washington University. He's a hydrologist, specializes in water behavior and misbehavior. And it's a great part of the country to be in because, there's so many determinants in how things are. The weather is thousands of miles away, etc. So we're going to walk across the bridge. The Army Corps is making all these parks. St. Louis County, St. Louis City have a lot of really nice parks, bike trails. We're really
So I think what I'll do is introduce the ACLU and get a little sense of what our topic is and how you all might be approaching it or thinking about it. But the ACLU is the American Civil Liberties Union. This is our 90th birthday this year. The ACLU was started by a guy who was
The Restoration Group started in 1981. It was incorporated as a nonprofit community revitalization organization. All volunteer staff for many, many years. We all just sat around a table with our sleeves rolled up and tried to do some community building with potlucks, some community gardening, that kind of thing. So it was extremely grassroots kind of thing.
So what do you do today?
We are in North City, and we're looking at an kind of urban development area where they're renovating old buildings and trying to make more livable apartments and commercial spaces, and they're trying to make it more appealing to people because currently not so appealing. And yeah.
Have you ever been here before?
I have been to Crown Candy, I think, once when I was like 6 or something. It was a really long time ago. I remember it being like, lock your doors, we're going to like North, City, and so I didn't really know a lot about the area, but I think that the work that they're doing is really nice, and it has the potential to be an interesting little development here. I think there's a lot of work still to be done, but definitely right direction.
Do you think if they were able to successfully like renovate everything, would you come back here with your friends or your family?
I definitely would, because I think that the little kind of paved area that they're working on right now is really interesting. It's really cute if they got some good retail in there. It would be a really interesting place. I just think it's not just one street that needs to be done. I think it's the whole surrounding area as well, because I know that would be a concern, at least for my parents. You know, they wouldn't be comfortable with me coming here just even if one street was very nice, if the surrounding area wasn't as stable, I think.
Nagasaki was one of the premier architects. And what else did he do?
World Trade Center.
World Trade Center, okay. So a lot of the blame on the demise of Pruitt-Igoe has been put on that man that I think is quite undeserving. Because I could imagine the kind of battles that he went through trying to really envision what the government wanted him to build. So the people that were employed, this was really kind of the first, quote, decent housing, and this is all relative when you say decent. But they had come from places like Mill Creek, where there was no indoor plumbing, cold water. So here they move into a place that has indoor plumbing, that has heat, that has running water. So this was like heaven for a lot of those families. And so when you look at some of the earlier apartments in Pruitt-Igoe, they look pretty homey. I mean, they made them really feel like that was their place, and actually tenants invested in it themselves too. So yeah, that was definitely an issue. Believe that stuff, build it, and they will come.
Well, it is interesting because the people at the Coalition for the Environment say, this is a habitat for all kinds of wildlife now, and it's sort of an example of how a place will just regenerate itself into what it used to be, which is just a forest.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, it's, Mother Nature will take her course, and the fact that all these trees just, you can't even tell that it was anything here except for an occasional road or a piece of concrete.